Welcome to my no surrender review. We have been very upset about how TNA has been doing their business. They're not doing house shows anymore. They're doing as many tapings as possible. A lot of talent has left. And you could see it in this pay-per-view style Impact. I mean, let's be honest here. It was a good show. It gave us a lot more than what we normally get. It makes us curious of what's going to happen next week. But it is so obvious that we're missing heavy amounts of talent. And TNA really doesn't have a long-range plan. Yeah, they got the plan for the, well, about the invasion angle, but I don't see anything beyond that. So let's get into this no surrender review. Bram versus Anderson. I'll tell you this. I enjoyed the first week of Anderson. Well, after the match between Bram and Anderson, I really enjoyed his interview. The next week interview was very good. They did a repeat of his interview, so they stuck it alongside Bram. I think it would have been better if Bram's interview had been separate and they showed no Anderson repeat. By the third week, before the match actually happened, and this is 2 weeks in the third week, I felt they needed something more. They really needed to really interact at least once. And somebody trying to break them up. But I can understand what they were trying to go with. They're trying to wonder if Anderson could be as ruthless and as aggressive as Bram. Here's the problem. There was no contest about if Anderson could be as ruthless as Bram. This match proved that easily that Anderson can match Bram. And the problem is, Bram was not ruthless enough. There's your problem. And there's one major problem that I saw that should be the problem between Eli and Chris Melendez, in my opinion, was that Eli didn't take Chris Melendez's leg. In this, you got exactly what you should do. Mr. Anderson's trademark has been his mic. He did this since the beginning. Since he was in WWE and in TNA. And guess what? Bram has used the mic against him. Which is basically using his own gimmick against him. Now that's something that's okay with it. But here's the problem. Bram is not ruthless enough to be pulling this off completely. And he did a good job, but it wasn't a great one. And it just feels like there's something missing from this feud. Maybe it's because there's just not enough interaction between them. And that's what I believe it is. You got 1 week with Anderson doing a great interview with Mike. Then you had Bram with a repeat of Anderson, which was kind of dumb. Then you have this feud, which kind of ends right now because Anderson has beaten Bram, but then Bram is going to extend it because he used his own mic against him. It just feels like there's something missing. Like there was a little element missing in between them. They really need to have a fight first before they had this match. That's just me. The Dollhouse versus Gail Kim. Oh my gosh. I hate this. I knew when I remember them talking about the Dollhouse dealing with, well, there might have been a hint of Gail dealing with the Dollhouse. And, excuse me, my allergies are messing with me. I knew there was a good chance that they were going to have this 3-on-1 handicap match eventually. And I knew when this happened, they were going to be buried. I'm talking about the Dollhouse. And this is exactly what we got. Why? Why? Why did we need Gail to be this dominant? How do you think this is going to look for a Brooke? Sooner or later, Brooke is going to have to deal with Gail Kim. And the rumors that I've heard that Brooke has already dropped her strap to Gail Kim already really makes me very upset. I'm still hoping that it isn't completely true. But if it is true that Gail has the strap already because they've been setting up to this, it's fucking stupid. If you're going to have Gail win the title, shouldn't she be getting it from Terrence Terrell. And Terrence Terrell shouldn't have dropped the strap so soon. She still had some more time to run with this wonderful gimmick of her in the dollhouse. After seeing this, why should I care about the dollhouse? They've been buried. And I love Marty Bell. And I love me some Jade. And Terrence Terrell has ran with this gimmick of her being a bad girl so long and so well, it looks like they're going to drop it now. And that's going to upset me. The Drew interview and the match with him and Eli Drake. I'm going to give you like this. I really want to see this more than just what it is now. Drew Galloway has always been a great talent. I always believed, and I've done this more than a few times before, I've said the Sinister Scotsman should exist. He was the Sinister Scotsman in the WWE before he got put to Chosen One, which I felt was the wrong moniker. I wanted him to come out like Roddy Piper, and I said this. Come out in a freaking kilt and fucking beat the crap out of everybody. Say, I'm the Sinister Scotsman and nobody's better than me. My kilt is a kilt, not a freaking dress. And I'm going to come out and I'm going to show you how bad I can be when I hit you on the head with a ukulele. Well, actually, I believe they call it a shillelagh. My mistake. That's kind of like a mallet. It would have been great with him in the WWE. And seeing him here, I do believe that moniker would work. But after he does his run doing what he's doing now, he's a face. I want to see him do that as a heel. But as a face, he's doing great. Eli Drake is a wonderful heel. He's awesome. But here's the problem. You guys tell me below, you think they're going to keep this as it is now? The match itself was good. But it wasn't a street fight. But we basically had street fight action on the outside before we even got into the ring. And I believe that's where the big mistake was made. Doesn't mean it was bad. It was the second best match of the night. For me personally. But here's the problem. You combine a street fight with a regular match. And we needed these two to be separate. You needed to have a regular match first with Eli Drake and Drew Galloway. Then you would have a street fight after that to really settle it. Or you could have a street fight first and then a real match afterward. You combine the two and it's like you just ended it. And that's wrong because these guys got a lot of mileage. And yet TNA may continue showing them. But I believe they kind of ended most of it already. But that's just me. You guys tell me below. Now, the Storm and Koya segment, and then the subsequent match afterward. Koya's name is Mahabari Shiva. If I'm pronouncing his name right, yeah. If I'm not, I'm sorry. But here's the problem here. We know Storm's leaving, and he's trying to get someone over. I believe he's got at least 3 or 4 more tapings before he's finally not going to be seen for quite a while. Or he's doing like most of the talent is doing now. They've gone off to Global Force Wrestling. They're going to be doing house shows and live shows there. And periodically they're going to come back to TNA and do some one-offs or a couple of episodes and that's it. A few tapings. But seeing that Maharabi, if I'm pronouncing his name, Shiva, let's just be honest. It would have been better if they gave him a shorter name. I'm not against Indian wrestlers. I think they're great when they're promoted properly. Sometimes allowing them to have the full name can be hard to pronounce. Jinder Mahal could have been a great talent in the WWE, but they just screwed the pooch with him. And with this guy, Shiva could be perfectly fine. Or Shiva. Or Sheena. I can't pronounce his name. You see, sometimes you need to give these people certain names. And I'm not talking about just Indian. I'm talking about anybody. If they already got a hard name to say, you need to sometimes shorten it down a little bit or give us something that we can work with. Koya wasn't that bad of a name. But Sheena or Shiva is going to be kind of hard. They're going to have to get rid of his first name and just call him that. And that's what Josh Matthews tried to do. But even he had problems saying it because he repeated it so many times. Even if it was in the same grammar, feels like it's hard to remember. But the match itself was very short, which was wise to do because he has no character. He's barely been in the ring, so he's still green. So you have to limit what you got. So it's okay. Let's just hope they promote him better. The Bully Ray attack and the subsequent what happened before the attack with Robert Roode. Well, actually it's a little bit more than that. Why would you bring out Brian Hefner and say, you know, when your dad retires and eventually he's going to retire, you're going to be basically senior ref? And he says, oh wow, thank you. Shakes his hand and walks away. That throws the hint about what may eventually happen with the, well, we know about the invasion angle. When it comes to Robert Roode, you think that's setting it up for the rest of the night. You wonder what Robert Roode is going to do. And honestly, it felt like it was done kind of half-assed, even though it did feel more organic. In other words, these guys were just being themselves. I mean, Bully was being Bully, and Bobby's being Bobby. You can see they actually have some type of relationship, which it actually kind of makes some sense. But the problem I have is that Bully Ray's not there anymore. He left. Robert Roode, I believe, is going to work for GFW now. Unless he's going to be part of the invasion angle, that's not going to be that might be the last time we see him. So it kind of upsets me to see this. But you guys tell me below, did you believe that S segment was good? Second to last match. EC3 versus Matt Hardy. Now I could do the Spud and Aries match, but I'm saving that last. It was a good match. I'm going to say this. It wasn't a match of the night for me, but it was a very good match, and it really showed how good EC3 was. EC3's shine hit. Hardy really helped him to get put over. And I'll give it to you like this. For me personally, if Matt Hardy had won the championship, I wouldn't have had a problem with it because Matt Hardy is a transitional champion. That's it. I wouldn't have a problem with him winning that title because he does deserve to have the title at least once. That's what I want to see with Matt. Matt eventually getting a major title from a major promotion at least once because he has earned it. He may not be the most charismatic character, but he's always done good work. He's done good promos. He's done good in-ring segments. He's done generally very good work in the ring if he's with a tag team or by himself. I know a lot of people say he's not really that good. Why give a damn about him? Sometimes those who have done good work deserve to be rewarded because when they get the title, they actually get extra money. And he just had a kid, so I believe he does deserve it. And it was a good match. EC3 was put over very, very well. Now finally, what we've been waiting for right here. Austin Aries versus Rockstar Spud. Last week, let's be honest, we all knew that when this was brought up and we had heard the rumors, Austin Aries was going to leave. And I do agree with Fool Killer 99. Fool Killer said he's glad to see that Austin Aries is going to put someone over before he leaves. And I agree with him. It's highly important to put someone over because we need it in TNA. TNA's not doing very well. They're not doing live events anymore. The only one they look like they may do is Bound for Glory, unless they've already set up something where they're going to do a live show in the next couple of months. Hard to tell. The contract's almost up. So it's hard to tell what they're going to do. But I'm glad to see this. This was the match of the night for me personally. It was told so very well. Austin Aries acted like a total jackass and a heel and full of himself. Rockstar Spud acted like the true underdog that he's being depicted as. And in the end, it was a classy ending. Rockstar Spud gets to win. Austin Aries hands him his bow tie. I don't know why. He could have just raised his hand, but he chose to give him the bow tie and say, you know what? This is for you because you earned it. You went up against me, the greatest man to ever live. I know what I'm talking about. They give each other a hug and kind of like And this is a very light form of what happened with Austin and The Rock, and I believe and that was WrestleMania 19. Could be wrong about the WrestleMania when The Rock had his last match in the ring along with Austin. It could have been, I think, it was WrestleMania 19. I could be wrong about that. But in the end, Austin heard what The Rock said to him when he was laying on his back, saying basically, thank you, what you're giving me. You kind of get this nostalgic feel like that in this match between Austin Aries and Rockstar Spud, because the way Spud hugged him, because Austin Aries, I mean, he put his hand on his back, he kind of acted a little reluctant, but when it was all over, you can honestly see that Rockstar Spud was truly thankful for what he had. I mean, he was thankful. You could tell what he was, you couldn't hear what they said, but you can honestly see that Rockstar Spud knew he was leaving, so he thanked him. And I take that really to heart. You don't always see this in disrespect, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, there's always some type of politicking in the back. There's always something of politicking in the ring. You see that people get screwed in the ring a lot. Sometimes the guy doesn't want to do the job. Sometimes the guys do the job. But in this case, you can honestly see the emotion from one of the two guys really saying, even if the other one didn't really care that much, I really appreciate this. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. That's the way I got it from Spud. But you guys tell me how you feel about it. And I felt, this was a good show. And I know you're wondering, why am I not saying anything about Jeff Jarrett, Double J? Well, you know what? I might as well say it. Look, the reason I'm not saying anything is because we really don't know the full situation. Is it Robert Roode on Jeff Jarrett on... This is frustrating because with Global Force Wrestling doing the Invasion angle, you really don't know what to say yet until Jeff Jarrett takes over the show next week. I could say something about what happened with Dixie and him, and I can say what happened with Bully Ray, and I already did because Bully Ray's not there. But when it comes down to it, I really don't want to say anything yet about what's going to happen with Jeff Jarrett and his angle with Global Force Wrestling because we really don't know yet. I want to leave it open. You guys can tell me how you feel, like you really believe that he's the one who caused Bully Ray getting his ass kicked or not. Or Robert Roode did it on doing it for Jeff Jarrett. You never know. It's easy to say it, but I want to leave it blank until next week so I can see what the show is and really give a good idea of what I'm thinking about when it comes to Jeff Jarrett and Global Force Wrestling and interjecting itself in TNA. So I hope you enjoyed the Zane View. Please give me a comment below. Like I said, I cannot do a debate of the week. I got some stuff to do. I got another computer. I basically have not given the HP, well, sold the HP to somebody. I still have it. I have a new computer that I'm getting set up. And I have someone that might be buying the HP, or at least asking me to help them fix their computer. And I'll probably get paid for that. And I don't know if I'll give the HP to somebody I really know that needs it, or I may keep it myself. And if you're wondering, am I spending a ton of money on 3 computers? It's roughly under $1,000. 3 computers, around $900. That's not bad. Have a good day and have a good night. Peace!